Being raised by a narcissistic mother is a devastating experience that will follow you around like a ghost that you can't even hide from, because this ghost now lives in you. Her now is you, hating you, judging you, berating you. So essentially, your narcissistic mother taught you how to treat yourself just the way that she does, which means that you're carrying her around everywhere. So even if she's not even alive, you're still being tortured by the experience of having her as a mother. And chances are that you will continue to be tortured by it until the end of your life, unless you heal. This video is a continuation of another video that I made, a series I made on the narcissistic mother, where I'm trying to break down this massively painful topic of having a narcissistic mother into smaller, digestible, although this isn't something that is easy to digest, videos. So if you want to go and watch the first one, it might help you to get into the loop of the conversation. But in this video, what I will be touching on is how exactly has having a narcissistic mother affected you? Because you internalizing her is essentially the experience of you treating yourself like her. But what else has happened because you were raised by such a mother? Well, the first thing that happened, obviously, it's going to be the fact that you have internalized this mother. So you can't really escape her. Even if you go no contact, even if she's gone, you're still treating yourself the way she treated you, because that's how humans operate. We learn how to treat ourselves based on how others treat us, and it's automatic, and this is how we parent ourselves. So when you make a mistake, when you do something, you'll be the first to be horrible to yourself, to shame yourself, to just go all in into making you feel horribly about yourself. But what else happens? Well, there's a fundamental change or a fundamental rupture between how worthy you think you are. Basically, you have a damaged sense of self-worth. You can't realize that you're worthy because you were treated like you were worthless. You become an adult who is in constant fear of being rejected. They can call it rejection sensitivity all they want, but if you've been raised like as if it's coming out of the blue, as if you have like allergy to something, but if you had a parent that chronically rejected the essence of who you were, and of course never accepted the essence of who you were, you are always afraid to be rejected in your life. And that is so normal, because that devastating experience of rejection came to you very early in life without you being able to do anything about it. You are emotionally fragmented. You have so many experiences happening at once and so much confusion internally, because since you've been traumatized in so many moments in time, you have a lot of fragmented parts left and right that, to manage with what happened to you, have been separated by your experience, kept in memory capsules in your mind called the inner children, and hold a lot of pain. So you don't just have one event to be like, yeah, I had this moment when I was, you have events every single day, right? As you try to heal from a narcissistic mother, you will know there's going to be monumental events. But if you just observe the whole relationship, you will see that those moments were constant, so constant. So obviously your mind, in order to cope with the shaming, the humiliation, the constant hurt, was fragmented into parts that kind of took the memory away, kept it stored so that you can keep being attached to this woman who was emotionally dangerous, but at the same time, she was your mother. So you had to stay attached. Now, if you've been raised by such a mother, you have a lot of internalized shame, obviously. Do I even need to explain, right? If you've been constantly shamed for who you were, not accepted, and looked at with disgust, this is something really particular. Narcissistic parents look at their children, look at their daughters, and women look at their daughters with disgust. You're wondering, what are they really looking at? Because there's no way you're looking at a child with so much disgust. What are you really seeing, right? But obviously you don't know that. She's projecting all of that. And you internalize all of that into shame for who you are. Because if your mom is looking at you with disgust and so much disdain, obviously you're going to internalize shame. You're going to grow up and have difficulty trusting yourself and others, based on everything that happened with her, your sense of trusting others is never going to be cultivated as a healthy sense, right? So you're not going to do it. You have fear of being seen, of taking space. You feel guilty for having needs. You feel guilty for setting boundaries because your experience with her was always centered with what she liked. And she was constantly berating you and being mean to you and shaming you whenever you presented your needs, your emotional experience, and you kind of wanted to prioritize that, but how dare you, she shamed you, and all of that. If you were raised by a narcissistic mother, the damage is not just in childhood, as you see, right? These are things that you continue to do as an adult. You're afraid of conflict. You can't be criticized. You have a horrible inner critic. You're always overperforming for love, particularly from people that cannot give it to you. That's your thing. You're attracted to that type of thing, to that type of person that doesn't really give it to you. Because you, my dear, if you had a narcissistic mother, are in a trauma bond with that woman. So you're bonded because she's your mother, but you're also bonded because she's your abuser. So the bond is so powerful. And what you do in your adult life is possibly recreate that bond with your lovers. The men that you're choosing, if you're choosing men, or the women, are just like her. What else happens to you if you have a narcissistic mother? Basically everything, right? People pleasing. You constantly feel like a burden. We said a lot of shame about everything. Your body, the way you are, making mistakes. You don't trust yourself. You kind of always find yourself around toxic people. But something also particular that happens when we are raised by a mother that never really knows us, right? And it's constantly just projecting on us and she's unsafe to be around. We are raised feeling chronically alone in our experience because she never met us there. The narcissistic mother was unable and never met you in your experience, which left you unseen, unknown, and basically invisible your entire life. And that creates a sense of loneliness that you cannot seem to get rid of, no matter how many people you have around you, right? It's an internal way of experiencing yourself. Now, all of these things that are happening because you had a narcissistic mother, I seem to be describing them with so much certainty, right? It's like, how can everybody who's had a narcissistic mother have the same experience? It's like, how are we all having that same experience? Did we all have the same mother? Or some of you will ask me, do you know my mother, right? And the thing is, even if we are separated by worlds and languages, daughters of narcissistic mothers have the same trauma. The consistency of the mother wound, of the narcissistic mother wound, is not random because the narcissistic mother, what we call a narcissistic mother, behaves in identical ways. Which is why if I was to got you all together in a room, you'd hear each other say things that are identical. The phrases the narcissistic mothers use are the same. The things they do are the same. And the beliefs you hold within because she was your mother are going to be the same. It's almost like all of these women, these narcissistic mothers, were raised and trained in the same school. Technically, they were. The school of generational trauma, deeply rooted patriarchy that resulted also in heavy internalized misogyny, emotional immaturity, and of course, shame. But let's look at how it all sort of plays out in the next video.